Other Eastern Orthodox countries like Russia or Serbia, for example, celebrate Christmas on the 7th of July.
July.
January. Oh
Wow.
my god.
Christmas in July. That's a.
Well, you know what's on my mind. Summer is on my mind, I guess. Welcome, guys, to Double Babble, where we're going to talk about something so simple
and sometimes complicated.
Yes.
But this time, as we promised,
it's December and we're going to keep it lighthearted,
funny, to spread the joy and
the Christmas spirit.
Today we're going to talk about
Christmas in Bulgaria, how we spend it,
our traditions.
Our traditions, yes.
The past, the beginning, the future, maybe.
Well, I can't say we're going to go as far back as the beginning, but...
No, but it's a past.
Yes.
Yesterday is a past,
yes.
Today is a present, tomorrow is the future. And yeah, we're going to get you guys familiar, if you're not, with how we celebrate it, how Bulgarians' traditions are during the Christmas period, and we do have a very special surprise for you, so stay tuned for that.
Yes. We have gathered some information from a bunch of sites, and we're going to be, they are going to be linked in the description down below if you want to read the whole thing. And so we're going to start with
just a little bit of a background, just
yes.
a little bit of a history.
So back in the day, when most Bulgarians were dealing with agriculture and livestock breeding, there was a lot of free time in winter. In those times, winter would start with Dimitrov Den, Saint Dimitri's Day, and end with Gergiev Den, which is Saint George's Day. During this time of year, we celebrate tons of days dedicated to saints, name days, and of course Christmas. So yes,
you can count, for one thing, you can count on Bulgarians and mostly Balkan people to have tons and tons of days to celebrate.
To just come together with the family and.
It's not just with families, with friends as well.
With friends as
Basically,
well, yeah.
To sit on the table,
and
eat, drink, and have fun.
Yes.
We do specialize in this, and this is why we do have many name days. I believe it was like around 10 name days between this period.
Yes.
Or maybe more. Not sure.
I'm not sure because personally I'm not familiar with all of the name days, as you know. I have to be reminded that someone has a name day.
Ouch.
In order to remember. Yes, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
But yeah, it is one of our traditions.
To have many name days and to have many ways to celebrate.
Yes.
Reasons to celebrate. Even Friday is a reason to celebrate. But
exactly.
Yeah. Well, Christmas is one of the most beloved holidays in Bulgaria, and at a time when family gets together in Bulgaria, just like everywhere else around the globe, the Christmas spirit is here and we are ready to celebrate. And actually we're going to get you guys familiar with a few facts about our traditions and the Christmas here.
Yes.
Though we have, I believe, mentioned in our previous podcast, that it used to be one of the traditions that I believe kind of went away. Tradition is a wider way to say it.
Went away.
Snow.
Meaning?
I meant snow.
Oh yes. Oh my.
Sorry, I know I confused you there for a second.
Yes, a little bit, but yes, snow is one of the things that
was a part of our tradition and was a part of the...
Well, you can't say it like that. I mean, it's just
not...
climate change. It's not like it's disappeared.
It just changed months.
Yes.
And
Previously, no, it started snowing, and by previously I mean like let's say 10 years ago.
Maybe less.
10 years ago, it started snowing in November, and it stayed with snow at least until March.
Yeah.
So we have a winter, and now it starts snowing like around the
January, the beginning.
Yes, and we mean snowing in a way that the snow stays,
Yeah.
because actually it snowed here, I think it was 2 weeks ago, like around the beginning of December. It
Yeah,
snowed,
right.
but it stayed for just one day, and right now it's a bit of a warmer weather, so
Yeah, and I do believe that this is something that helped at least us as a children,
Yes.
and many other children to have a much bigger appreciation of the Christmas and give us much more spirit, much more joy, and
Yes, you just kind of knew that during those holidays, if it snowed outside, your
Yeah.
parents are going to be home, you're going to go out and sleigh,
do some sleighing.
build snowmen, and
Oh yeah.
do snow angels. But yeah,
Yeah, but this is why I said that this counts as a kind of a tradition because it just feels like it.
okay, now I get it.
Yeah.
So, we celebrate Christmas on the 25th of December. Bulgarians are mainly Eastern Orthodox, but we follow the Gregorian calendar, and for us, Christmas is on the 25th of December. Other Eastern Orthodox countries like Russia or Serbia, for example, celebrate Christmas on the 7th of July.
July.
January, oh
Wow.
my god.
Christmas in
Well-
July. That's a.
Well, you know what's on my mind.
Ah,
Summer is on my mind, I guess. They celebrate Christmas on the 7th of January. My bad.
It's okay. But I did think I actually didn't know that some countries did celebrate Christmas in January. I can get into this with the snow being in January.
You can celebrate
I like
Christmas in January.
I like that idea. So then, as a proud Bulgarian, I'm going to say that I'm going to celebrate the 25th of December as Christmas, and I will add the 7th of January as Christmas. So,
Well, yeah, it is a family holiday after all. So
Yeah.
you will, on the 7th of January, you're going to get with your family. You're going to have the food that is for Christmas, and
no, it's not just.
you're going to give yourself presents, and you're going to have just fun
Yeah,
as a
exactly.
family.
That would be
Yeah.
nice. I don't have that much money to spend on presents, but at least there will be the Christmas decoration and hopefully snow outside.
Yes,
And family and friends. And this is all we need.
yes, exactly.
Yeah, and as we mentioned, we do like to celebrate a lot, which is why the Christmas here lasts for 3 days. Starting on the 25th, when we believe Jesus Christ was born, the following. Actually, it's 24th.
It's the 24th, actually.
It's
Christmas Eve.
It's Christmas Eve, but no, it's
We start celebrating on
On the-
Christmas Eve on the 24th, and then on the 25th is Christmas.
well, basically, what my logic is based on this is that Mary's water broke on the 25th, and she started
So she gave birth on-
during the night between 24th and 25th, and this is why we celebrate the 25th as Christmas Day,
Yeah.
as the day that Jesus was born.
Yes.
Jesus Christ was born. And then the following 2 days, we honor the people who carried the names Christo, Christina, Joseph, or Joseph, as you might know it, on the 26th. And then there are the people that named Stefan, Stoyan, or Stefka on the 27th. So this is 3 days, one after the other, name days.
Name days, yeah, basically. So, Christmas follows the last day of the fast, the 24th of Christmas Eve. On Christmas Eve, we eat only vegan dishes, just like during the fasts, and they have to be an odd number. We prepare delicious things like stuffed peppers with rice or beans. Yes, they're very tasty. But I personally prefer the stuffed peppers with meat, but it has to be vegan, so.
Has to be vegan.
It has to be vegan. So it's stuffed peppers with rice or beans.
Delish.
Yes.
Grape leaves stuffed with rice. Actually, I don't like the grape leaves.
Yes, I do prefer the cabbage. Yeah, the cabbage leaves. But yes, these are called sarmik here. And so yeah, if they are small, we call them sarmichki. And they are very tasty, actually.
Delicious.
So yeah,
we eat pumpkin dishes and traditional bread.
Yes.
And the bread usually contains fortunes, which will reveal what the next year holds for each member of the family. And after the dinner, we do not put away the dishes. They do stay on the table during the whole night.
Yes.
The traditional belief is that Virgin Mary visits homes during the night and feasts on what is left. Just like in the West, they leave cookies and milk for Santa. We just leave the meal for Mary.
Yeah.
Which is actually pretty nice.
Yes.
And we do, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, but there is only one dish at least. If let's say you are 5 people in the household, you will put one more plate. You have 5 plates for each and every member of the family, and you will put one empty plate for the Virgin, actually, to come and put the things that she wants to eat in her plate, and so she can eat it.
Oh, but I don't think we've ever done that. We just leave the food for the night.
No, we always do that, like one empty dish, because you never put just parts of, you put the food on the plate and on the table. You put the whole dishes on the table, and everyone can grab. And this is why I know from my grandma that we leave an empty plate just for the Virgin to put her
That's nice.
Yeah. And another thing that we always do, that I know from my grandma at least, is that we always put in the fire a big wood called budnik. Basically, it's the Christmas Eve big tree.
Yeah.
It's a big one. It should be put by the oldest member of the family, and this is the only thing that burns through the whole night. It should be bigger to burn through the whole night, and you don't put any other wood. And until that wood is put in the fire, you're not allowed to sit down with the family and eat.
That's interesting. This is another thing that we don't do, actually, because we could have been doing it before when I was little. I don't remember, but here in our house it has been like, I can say, 10 to 15 years in which we haven't turned on the
fireplace.
It's not even a fireplace. I mean,
it's
because it's not in the living room where everyone is. It's down in the basement. So we haven't turned it on. So
it's possible. I mean, after all, this is actually one of the traditions that they follow in my mother's region, and in my dad's region, which is from here. They don't follow this one.
Yes, and as we know, in Bulgaria, depending on the region, traditions can be different.
Yeah, and this is one of the other things about Bulgarians. We do have different regions, different traditions in different regions, which is, sometimes they're very touchy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As we've said, the meal should traditionally have an odd number of dishes in it, normally 7, 9 or 11, and an odd number of people sitting around the table. Salt, pepper, and sugar can count as separate dishes, which is something I actually didn't
Really?
know. Yeah.
Oh well. We always count them, and we always put the salt, pepper, sugar, vinegar, oil,
I guess you can call
sunflower seed,
sunflower oil. Yeah.
sunseed. You get what I mean. And yeah, we count them as well.
Okay.
See, this is something though I didn't know. Straw is often put under the tablecloth, and you might even bring a wooden plow into the house and put it behind the door. These are meant to help you have good crops during the next year.
Well, I guess this is something that we usually don't do because
We don't do
we-
many farm
yes,
kind of work
yes,
anymore. Yeah, maybe in some places, I mean, where they do.
maybe they still do it.
Yeah,
But these are actually some of the old
old
beliefs.
traditions. Yeah.
There is a special round of decorated loaf of bread called pita, which has a coin baked in it. Which is actually the biggest coin that we have. Right now it's going to be 2 leva. Yeah, 2 leva.
Yeah.
And it's put in a foil somewhere in the pita, with only the one who baked it knows, but actually after that nobody knows where the coin is.
Of course.
And yeah, if you find the coin, you're meant to have good luck for the next year. The bread is normally cut by the oldest person at the table, and they hand it around the table, which is actually, that's why nobody knows where the coin is, because the oldest person on the table first spins the pita at least 3 times. Yeah. And after that, he cuts it and gives each member
they don't
of the
cut
family
it, just
yeah, they break it,
yeah,
and they give
hand out to each and every person on the table a piece of the bread.
yes. Me and English today are not good friends.
Me every day with Bulgarian. And this is one of the other traditions that I like, and we still keep it. Hope that we can keep it, and we have kept it during the New Year celebration with the banitsa.
Yeah.
If you haven't tasted banitsa, you haven't tasted anything. Well, but it's just the coin, nothing, no lux, no anything, just the coin.
Yeah.
With the bread, which is good. I like it. As we mentioned, it's normal to have rich vegan meals, different soups, bean soup, cabbage soup sometimes, and as we said, sarmi,
Yes.
some pastries, some fruits, nuts are always welcome, dried plums, dried fruits actually.
Yeah.
And one of the things that my family does, we do 2 things with the fruits. You must have, this date from my grandparents from my mom's side, we do have dried fruits on the table, and then there is a dish which is boiled, which are the dried fruits boiled, and then they regain their natural state, and it's boiled with water, with sugar, and you can basically sip on it.
That's nice.
Yeah. Look, after midnight you can include foods like banitsa or baklava.
So basically after midnight the fast is over, and you can add meals that are not vegan if you like.
Well, it's not vegan, but still vegetarian. just have the produce
Yes.
in them, because banitsa is a pastry made with yogurt and cheese and
Yes.
all the goodies.
Yes, it's very tasty.
Yes. And
So yeah, it's traditional that the table is left with all the foods on it until the morning of Christmas Day, as we've mentioned before. Some people think their ancestors might like something to eat during the night. Actually, this is what I've been told by my mother.
oh yeah, this part always creeps me out.
That on Christmas Eve, during the night,
I don't know. I don't
our
wanna-
ancestors might come, and that's
Yeah.
why we leave the food. Actually, I didn't know that we leave it for Virgin Mary.
Go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that we left it for our ancestors.
This is why I know that we usually leave it for our ancestors, but do imagine that I sleep in the same bed where the table is, same bed, the same room where the table is, and I love my ancestors, and I would like to meet them when I passed away, but it creeps me out to know that there is a dish for our ancestors to come and eat during the night in the same room that I sleep in.
Why doesn't it creep you out knowing that Virgin Mary can come and eat during the night?
True as well. I don't know, it seems... Nah, I don't know.
I mean, I get you. Don't get me wrong. I get what you're saying. It's just that before, when you said that they are that the dishes are left for Virgin Mary, you weren't creeped out, and now.
Yeah, I know. It somehow does just creep me out on one side, because my ancestors are the people I personally look up to and I personally know, while the Virgin Mary I never met and I don't know.
Well, then it should creep you out even.
I know. I don't know. My mind is everywhere.
Yes.
I
Don't
know.
worry. I'm the same.
I know. And actually, another tradition that is not mentioned here from my mother's side is that in each and every corner of the room you put a walnut, not baked, just a walnut with the walls.
Yeah.
A whole walnut, you put it in each and every corner of the room. You leave it during the whole night until New Year's, basically. And when you remove it on New Year's, you burn it into the fire. Basically what it is, it just absorbs the bad energy around the family and around the household, and you leave it to absorb it, and then you burn it, basically getting rid of it.
Yeah. Well, that's interesting.
Yeah. This is one of the other things that we do.
Yeah.
See, we are full of traditions.
Yes. After Christmas Eve dinner is about 12 o'clock. Another tradition. What?
Yes.
After Christmas.
At about 12 o'clock, at about midnight, when Jesus Christ is born.
Yeah. Another tradition takes place in Bulgaria, which is Kuleduvane. Yes. Kuleduvane is a ritual which happens at midnight on the 24th of December. After it is done, we know that Christmas is here and Jesus Christ was born. Only young and single men are allowed to take part in this tradition, Kuleduvane. They gather in the house of the men, leading the group all dressed up in special clothes. Once they are all together, they start going from house to house singing Christmas carols. Yes, this is again, I guess, a tradition that doesn't happen a lot in big cities, I guess, nowadays.
It depends actually where you are, because mostly right now only children follow it, because we don't have that much popularity in it, and the songs that are sung are for like for prosperity, for more for better year, like produce wise.
Yeah.
It's for health of the family. Right now we don't follow it, but not exactly. But let's say if you are in a restaurant with your family, you haven't had the time to cook a meal. We know some people don't do that.
Yeah.
And at midnight, you have people with traditional garments,
Clothes. Yeah, they're clothes. Yeah.
yeah, they come and actually sing, and they go gather. But something, it is a tradition to be only men to sing those songs because I don't know why.
Yeah, me too.
And we have mentioned a little surprise for you guys.
Yes.
I so am excited about this. I would love for you to hear it. It's actually
It's one of our more famous folk songs, which these men sing when going from house to house.
and it's kind of our way to wish our
Yeah.
viewers prosperity during the year.
Yes. Stani mi stani nine, nine gospodine, će ti da dobri gosti. Stani mi stani nine, nine gospodine, dobri gosti koledari. Stani mi stani nine, nine gospodine, će ti nosim dobri vesti. Stani mi stani nine, nine gospodine, ovce ti se objagnili. Stani mi stani nine, nine gospodine, koliko zdravec na planina. Stani mi stani nine, nine gospodine, toliko zdrave na ta skršta. Stani mi stani nine, stani gospodine. And yes,
I love it. It's amazing. Sorry, I get goosebumps.
It's one of our traditional songs. Yes, actually, so young men
Yeah.
go around, and when they go to a house, they sing this, and this song means
Get up, sir. Something like that.
yes. It basically means that you have to be generous, I guess. You have to be kind, and they come and tell you that you're going to have a great year, that your farm animals are going to be all right, that your farm is going to be prosperous, and they wish you health for all the year.
Yes.
Basically, this is what the song is about.
And it is actually very beautiful to hear it and to... Actually, yeah, it's a very sentimental song. It's beautiful. I got chills.
I think the chills are going to be bigger if you hear it from the
Yes.
koledari, actually, because they are a lot in number, and so basically it's like a choir, so
Yeah,
it's always stronger.
Yeah, it's so beautiful to hear it and to experience it. Just cannot be explained.
Yes.
It's so good. And yeah, as we have mentioned many times until now, Christmas here is spent traditionally with family and loved ones.
Yes.
And we do have, of course, presents, trees, basically everything that a Christmas should have.
Yes.
And something that to affect everyone, but nowadays is like this. And I'm assuming that we're going to get just a little bit into the history part of ours, because during the communism period, we didn't have Christmas.
Yes. Which I don't know what they were thinking back then, but
Well, you do have ways that we have been kind of like brainwashed, you can say.
Well, I don't think it's like that. Or maybe it is
It's kind of.
brainwashing. It's kind
Kind
of,
of.
yeah, because they wanted everyone to think the same way
Mm-hmm.
and to have the same causes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To be a group of people with only one mind.
Yes.
And so yeah, this is kind of a brainwashing.
Yes. Nowadays, if you have a conversation with a person who lived throughout the communism
Days.
years, actually, yeah, you're going to have a very interesting conversation because most of the people have different opinions. Some say that the times were great, and others remember it with
Let's put it this
with
way.
sadness.
Let's put it this way. You weren't afraid to go outside at night. You weren't afraid that someone will attack you and will kill you, do whatever bad thing
Yeah.
to you. But there was fear of the police.
Yes.
But you had enough money. You earned enough money to live normal life. You didn't have a lot of things to buy from the store, but you've had enough money to live a normal life, to have enough food on your table, to
Yes.
have
Basically, as I've
trips
heard,
and
yes, as I've heard, everyone was equal.
exactly.
Yes.
And I know that this from my mom, that if someone, let's say you're not in high school, you're just a normal person, if you are outside during the working hours, they and the police sees you, they just grab you and put you in the nearest factory that you can work, basically, and you will have an income.
Yes.
And the prices were much lower, though there weren't a lot of things available. But yeah.
Yes.
So we're going to basically tell you 4 ways that the Communist Party discouraged Christmas celebrating
Yeah.
as we know it right now.
And the first thing is the power of TV.
Of course.
As we know, this is the 5th greater power in the world. The Communist Party came up with the idea to broadcast movies from Western countries on national television. These were otherwise almost impossible to find and watch. The Bulgarian national television would mainly broadcast movies produced in the Eastern Bloc. So most people would take the chance and watch movies produced on the other side of the Iron Curtain instead of celebrating Christmas in the churches.
And this is something that always bothered me, one of the things, but that's the way they thought, and it worked for
I guess 40 to 45 years.
it did work.
Yes.
And the other way that it is named, it's really funny, is ICU. Basically, the communist regime would place several police officers around the churches to write down the names of those entering. Although there is no evidence of people who were in trouble, just because of this, most of them were afraid to go to the church.
Yes, and actually, they did let old people in churches,
Yeah.
but if let's say a grandma shows up with her grandchild, the grandchild was sent home.
Yeah.
So basically, they wanted. I don't know how to say it. They didn't want the church involved in any way.
But coming to think of it, the Communist Party, the communist regime, was a lot revolved around religion.
Well, then why not let you enter?
I don't know. This is what I was, the question in my mind, but we do know that the communists were very big on religion. I'm assuming that mostly because they didn't want people to celebrate Christmas and Christmas Eve, and this is the reason why they didn't want to let them in the church. Because it wasn't right according to them. It's actually based mostly thinking. It's because one of our the third reason why, which is work hard. Some companies organized work meetings. They would discuss or celebrate what was achieved during the past year. These meetings will be held on the 24th of September during Christmas Eve, and that's how some people were forced to work till late, so they weren't able to go to church or celebrate with their families, basically.
Yeah.
Here we have our answer.
Yeah. And the fourth reason, work even harder. Christmas Day, like any other religious holiday, was a working day, except when it was on a Sunday, on a Saturday or a Sunday. You could celebrate Christmas Eve secretly with your family, unless you were attending work meetings or celebrations, as was told before. But the next days, 25th and the 26th, were regular work and school days, so it was impossible to have the traditional Christmas lunch.
Or dinner, or whatever you
Yeah.
call it. And this is one thing that I'm actually really, really glad that has changed, and we got rid of it while getting rid of the communist regime, because we're Bulgarians. We need another holiday to celebrate.
Yeah.
But actually, the only Christmas, okay, let me put it, holiday day that they celebrated was the New Year. And the New Year is the new Christmas.
Yeah.
And the communist authority decided to just attach the religious tradition to the non-religious holiday, which is New Year's. The New Year's will become one of the most important holidays during the communist period. One of the reasons why is because on the dinner table you could find the traditional bread, but you can find some produce, no, not produce, exotic fruits
Yeah.
that you weren't able to find all year long, like bananas, oranges,
Yes.
tangerines, and this is something that we find in the store every day.
Nowadays, yes.
Nowadays, yes.
But then it was only once a year around New Year's.
And this is why they celebrated New Year's as something very big.
Yeah.
And something huge. It's not just a mark of the new year.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Well, they didn't have Santa Claus, which here is called Djadu Koleda. He was still present though. He was called Grandfather Frost or Djadu Mraz in Bulgarian. They were almost identical, friendly-looking old men with long white beards and red suits, giving presents to the children. The difference is, Grandfather Frost didn't come down the chimney, but through the front door and met the children in person. Grandfather Frost also had an entourage, not of deer and elves, but rather his granddaughter Snow White, Snezhanka, as called here in Bulgaria. Most importantly, gifts were presented to children in the evening of the 31st of December instead of Christmas. For 45 years, however, elderly people and those living in small towns and villages would still celebrate the same way they were celebrating prior to the year 1944, which is when the regime started. Yeah. Those were the people who kept traditions alive, and after 1989, when the regime stopped, stepped forth to receive them. During the 90s,
There was still some, during the 90s there was still some confusions what traditions to follow, whether those on Christmas or those of the New Year as the communists put them. And actually this is one of the things, and like, because nowadays we have mixed them.
Yes.
Because, why? Because we're Bulgarians.
Well, yes, but there are differences. I mean, on New Year's you can have meat on the table.
Yeah, true.
So basically,
what we have done is we have taken best of both worlds.
Yes. Yes, exactly.
And we celebrate Christmas as we have explained it to you as we all know it, and then we celebrate New Year's as that's the same way. And I do remember when I was young, I did have a present for Christmas brought from Santa Claus, and I did have a present from Grandfather Frost.
Yeah.
Which is weird to say. And yes, I got the present for Christmas on the Christmas day under the table from Santa Claus left, who I've never seen. But on Christmas, on New Year's, I always did get the present directly from from Grandfather Frost. And I do remember this one time, I was, you know how the tradition is that you have to meet the New Year fresh, basically bathe it.
Yes.
Bathe it? Clean.
Yeah.
And I was just stepping out of the bathroom after I had taken a shower, and that was Grandfather Frost. And I was wearing only a towel. It was so uncomfortable.
Yeah, you're like Grandfather Frost. You don't know when to come in.
Yeah, I was like, wait, I need to get changed, and I'll get. But he was in a hurry, so he gave me my present. My mom took it, and yeah, it was so uncomfortable, like going out of the shower and getting a gift.
Yeah.
And it was actually a sleigh. And what did we do on the same day?
You went out and
yes, and we went to
sleighing.
Yeah.
And as we've mentioned, from the confusion that happened for both of these holidays, the only ones who are happiest are, of course, the children. Because who doesn't want to get as many presents in as little as time?
Exactly, and after all, I don't know, it just brings joy to.
Yes, and for me personally, I'm born on the 30th of December, so actually I get, when I was little, I got a present for Christmas under the tree from Santa Claus. I got a present for my birthday, which was 5 days after that, and then I got a present for New Year's. I guess just because I've never seen Grandfather Frost.
It's just that the tradition you'll have to get a gift.
The tradition, yeah. And then on the 1st of January, we have another Bulgarian tradition, which is survakane. So basically, you go and you
hit someone.
Yes, you go and hit your grandfather, your grandmother, your mother, your father, basically
even the neighbors.
Neighbors, yeah.
We went to, yeah.
And you do that in order to wish them health, prosperity and happiness. And they give you money or
chocolate or fruits or whatever, yes. Basically. But it shouldn't be just an ordinary stick. It's a specific type of.
It's a specific type of wood, but I don't remember how it was called. And it's
and it should be decorated with popcorns, with
yes.
with dried peppers, with traditional things that you were able to find in the garden.
Yes.
This is a way of.
And it's called survaknica.
Yes.
Yes.
and it's called Sorvakane, and it's interesting. You
Yeah.
go and beat everyone, but you didn't. But you did need to learn.
Yes, you did need to learn. It's not a carol, but it's more like
It's you're not
busk,
obliged to. You're not obliged to sing it, but you can just say it.
Yes, but it was like so yeah, it's basically like a poem that you have to learn and recite while
Beating someone.
beating someone.
Oh,
Yeah,
this sounds so awful.
it sounds brutal, but actually you never use that much force.
Yeah, you just basically just so you can touch the person.
Yes, and actually that is, I think, considered as giving him strength,
Yeah.
so that his body can be strong and healthy during the year.
Mhm.
And yeah,
And as we grow older, as I mentioned, we did that when we were kids to our neighbors, and nowadays,
kids do it on us.
yeah, and mostly because we have went home like 6, 7 in the morning, or I'm asleep when they come,
Yeah.
and they always wake me up, and I always get beaten in bed.
Yeah.
But it's nice tradition. It's something that a lot of kids look up to nowadays. It's pretty good.
Yes. And that's our topic for today. We hope you liked it. We hope you liked our surprise. We hope that you've learned something more about the way that we celebrate Christmas and New Year's. And yeah.
And if you know some of your traditions, share them with us. Let us know if we have missed something. Well, it would be interesting to find out if there are some more and different places, how you celebrate them.
Yes. Our social media will be linked down below as usual.
Check it.
Check it out, yeah. As the sites from which we got our information.
Yeah.
So if you would like to look up the sources that we've used, you could. We hope you have a very Merry Christmas, and we'll see you babblers next time.